Hello and welcome to our other lesson. Let me just close the door so that we can start. Okay, so we are starting. In today's class, we are going to learn about now. We did thesis, we did introduction. Paragraph. Now today, I want us to move to body paragraph. Okay. Now, let's assume that we are talking about effects of drug abuse in schools. So we are talking about effects of drug abuse in schools. Okay, the introduction paragraph, you can write something like this. Okay, now as you write, you can write. You're trying to introduce the reader to whatever that you're writing. Then, in the end, you should have the last sentence should be a thesis statement. So you can say this. And addiction. Okay, so now that's just an example. Okay, now after writing that, you'll now move to the next paragraph, which is the body paragraph. Now in the body paragraph, you can have here a small subtopic. Schools. So you can start here by saying, now you need to have a sentence we are calling the topic sentence. Now the topic sentence, it is a telling sentence. It is like a leading sentence, like a guiding sentence. Okay, a paragraph should have one and only one idea. So we use a topic sentence to ensure that the paragraph remains with only one and one idea. So we can say this. So we can say that the abuse of drugs in schools or substance abuse in schools increases school dropout rate. Now, this one is now the topic sentence. So it means that the entire paragraph should just be about that one. So we can say this. So we need to write. So now from there, the next sentence should be supporting sentences. So if you have statistics, if you have from whatever, so you can say this. A study by XYA shows that students involved in drug abuse tend to drop out by the fourth month of, of the illegal practices. Okay, so now that one is an example of an evidence. Okay, so you can say this that when students abuse drugs, they tend to have this view of reality and obligations. procuring drugs. Okay, now that's now an example. So you'll give the supporting sentences. After giving the supporting sentences, you shall have a concluding sentences. Okay, so you can say overall. So that's an example of it. So for this one is what we are going, this is what we are calling a topic sentence. So every body paragraph must have a topic sentence and it must have a concluding sentence. The concluding sentence summarizes whatever that we have discussed. The topic sentence tells us what the paragraph is all about. Okay, so now these paragraphs will be based on this thesis statement. So you can see we have started with this one, the drug abuse. Now the next one is now the violence among learners. Violence among learners. So, whatever that we are discussing here must be the topic sentence. So, we can use a transition word, a connecting word. So, we can say, additionally, that's the transition word, additionally, comma. Then we can now include now another topic sentence. Drug abuse leads to violence among learners. Okay, now that is the topic sentence, that drug abuse leads to violence among learners. Let me just increase the font size, okay, so that we say that drug abuse leads to violence among learners. And then now from here, so it means that this entire paragraph should be about this topic sentence. So a topic sentence tells us what that entire paragraph will all be about. So we can say this, that now, in this paragraph, you're trying to show, you're trying to expound on this one. So you're providing evidence, okay? Okay, so it means that every sentences that you are writing here must support this one, that drug abuse leads to violence. If you have statistics which is encouraged, you can quote them, okay? So you can say that XYZ found that 5% of learners that abuse drugs tend to be violent. So this is an example of an evidence. So you can go on that, you can go on that, then you can conclude. Then in the concluding, try to use a variety of words. Here we have used overall. So here we can say, therefore, drug abuse menace schools should be addressed immediately. So here you can give an opinion or you can summarize. So every body paragraph must have a concluding sentence. Okay. Now you go now to the third. Now this body paragraph must appear here. So we have discussed violence among learners. Then you have health problems. Okay. Then we can say here relatedly. We can say here drug abuse and drug overdose can lead to emergency health situations and in some cases and death. Okay. Then then you go here and say Uh, let me just ensure that this one you can easily separate them as the supporting sentences. Okay. So these are the supporting sentences. So you can have several, and then finally you conclude. Okay. Now we have used overall, therefore, then we can say here. Mental health. Okay, so this is now the concluding statement. Now, still we go to the so whatever you are discussing for body paragraph is what you had stated for thesis statement. Then you have addiction. So you can come here and talk about now the addiction. Then we can say here equally important, a transition word. So this paragraph must be connected using transition words. Okay, so it enables the reader to know that from here, it enables the reader to know that this is an addition to this one, this one is an addition to this one, and this one is still an addition to this one. So you can say equally important. Okay, now so this is now the thesis statement of this body paragraph. So it means everything here must discuss how drug abuse leads to addiction. Okay, so everything here must support that one. So we can say here, okay, so it means that then you can have several sentences that are supporting whatever that you are discussing. Then you must conclude it. Okay, so concluding. Now remember, you try to use a variety of words. So I sent you a PDF of transition words. So in conclusion, maybe we can say this. Okay, so that's now our conclusion. In conclusion, you summarize, or you can also give an opinion, but that opinion must not be in first person, so you must not use I. It must be in general form and must be related to the body paragraph. Now, after writing all this, okay, after writing about everything here, drug abuse. So we this is the introduction paragraph, and as I said, the introduction paragraph we do not have the word introduction. It's just assume the first paragraph is the introduction paragraph. Then we come to the body paragraph. Here we can have a subtopic. Then this is now your first paragraph, first body paragraph, which is the second paragraph in the entire writing. You must have a topic sentence. A topic sentence tells us what that paragraph is entirely about. Then a paragraph must be strictly about one idea. So you cannot have a paragraph that discusses several things. So you can see here we are only discussing about how drug abuse leads to school dropout case. So we are not discussing how drug abuse leads to addiction. We are not discussing how drug abuse leads to poor health. Now, this is another paragraph and another paragraph. Then, eventually, after discussing everything, you must have the conclusion. In the conclusion, here you are summarizing whatever that you have discussed. So, you can start with the word conclusion or in summary, and then you summarize the key points, the key body points. So, the first thing in the conclusion, you must come here and restate this one. You come here and restate your thesis statement in the conclusion. So let me paste it here so that I restate. So you can come here and restate and say, drug abuse Effects students include high school dropout rate, violence among learners, addiction, and health issues. So, in the conclusion, you must paraphrase again the thesis statement, why it acts as a quality measure or a quality assurance. Then you come and summarize the key points of body paragraph. Okay, drug abuse in school increases school dropout rate. So you can say here. So you come here and you expound. So you can now say here, students that, in summary now, that abuse drugs tend to drop out due to need to engage in the vice and the feeling that school is interfering with the habit and so on. So here you are summarizing. So you must have all this. So this is now the conclusion of paragraphing. Okay, so paragraphing, you must have the introduction. In the introduction, you are trying to immerse the reader into whatever that you are writing about. So you assume the reader is not interested, or the reader has no idea of whatever you are writing. So the first thing that you are doing, you are trying to invite, you are trying to immerse. Okay, so you're trying to ensure that the reader gets interested into this topic. Okay, then from there you must have a thesis statement. Okay, you must have a thesis statement. A thesis statement tells us what you are going to talk about or the position you have taken. Then, or both. Then from there, after the first paragraph, and each paragraph should be approximately 100, 115 words. Then from there, you can have a subheading, okay? Then you can start your body paragraphs. Now, the number of body paragraphs will be determined by your thesis statements, because here you have stated the key things you're going to discuss. So the first one is this one, for example, now, because this is our thesis statement. So, drug abuse leads to school dropout. So, you must have a topic sentence. So, we must now, each paragraph must have one and only one idea, but then you must have supporting sentences, which includes statistics, paraphrasing other authors on the same. So, here is drug abuse in school increases school dropout rate. Okay, then from there, now this entire paragraph must talk about how drug abuse in schools increases school dropout rates. Okay, so here you must get your evidence. So you can get statistics, you can get discussions by other people. So here, then at the end, you must conclude your paragraph with a concluding sentence. Now, so you use a keyword for conclusion. Now here we have another one. This is a transition word. A transition word is a connecting words. You are connecting from one paragraph to another. Okay. So from this paragraph, I should not just find myself in this other paragraph. I should know this paragraph is reinforcing the previous one. Okay. This one is also reinforcing the previous one. The same to this one. Then this one is concluding. So you must use the transition words. Okay, so I can save this one so that I'll share with you the lesson on paragraphing. Units. Then I can now stop